welcome to episode 62 of Lost Signals. My name's Daryl.
I'm JD. How you doing, man?
I'm just peachy. You know, I got two asshole dogs that are just being fucking dogs.
Being asshole dogs? Yeah.
Because like we talked before, you know, I sit here and not the dark, but you know, like lit for this, and as soon as I start talking to nobody really, you know, like nobody in the house, and they go nuts. Come here.
They go nuts because it's like, oh, Dad's talking. They must be talking to me.
Yeah, but I'm not because you guys are dicks. Yeah. So it's Thursday night. So, apparently, right now, game one of the Western Conference Finals is going on in the NHL, and it's in double overtime. Oh, did it just finish?
Oh, it just ended.
Oh.
Edmonton wins game one.
Shit.
McDavid plays double overtime hero as Oilers beat Stars in game one.
Cool.
Good for good old Connor McJesus.
Lee was watching the game and was going to be here, and he may show up here yet in this episode. Yeah. We'll see how that goes, but he's probably pissing down both legs right now because
just in fury or in
no,
happiness?
just excited just because of you know. Lee is a huge Oilers fan, so so he's.
I'm so pissed off. I could just you could just urinate all over me.
You know, like when you see a dog sometimes and they just get so excited that they piss themselves. That's kind of what I'm assuming was going on there.
I'm surprised he hasn't said anything
he's dealing with the piss in his pants right now. So
yeah, gotcha.
So get this out of the way right. Sure. Open that.
Yes.
I am drinking a Sour the People. I don't know how old this is, and I need to mute that because that's not annoying, but it's just loud.
What
you
got going on?
WhatsApp desktop app.
Okay.
I'm drinking a Sour the People, and this might be a little old by now, but it was in the fridge, so I figure, you know, hey, I like beer. Let's have a homebound beer because it's what everybody else is drinking this weekend, you know, and everybody was drinking on the long weekend. So
just by the name of it sounds refreshing.
Well, exactly. I was not drinking over the long weekend because I was at work. And they tend to frown upon when I drink at work. You know?
Yeah. But when you're off work, you do go visit Homebound Brewery in person.
Yes. And I'm planning on going there tomorrow. Yeah. Possibly. We'll see how my day pans out. So
what's their website again?
Homeboundbrewery.ca. Homebound Brewing. Yeah. Is it brewery or brewing? Yeah. I can't remember. I think it's brewing actually. I know we have it on our quick link on the on all of our YouTube pages and YouTube videos, and I think on just go check. Just search Homebound Brewing on Facebook or Instagram, and it'll show up.
Homeboundbrewery.ca.
Yes, I knew it was brewery. I don't know how but like, yeah, because I always call it like Homebound Brewing, and it's even, you know, it even says like I'm wearing the Homebound shirt today, and it even says brewery, not brewing. It says brewery.
It's a habit.
Yeah, yeah. So. It's been a minute again since a couple weeks.
Yep, 3 weeks. And in that time, you went on a trip and I went on a trip.
Yes.
Which is even more mind-blowing.
That's just craziness right there. How did your trip pan out? Let's start with your trip. Because normally when we talk about trips, I usually rattle on for 45 minutes about every single fucking detail. And it's your turn.
I will say this at the very beginning. You will be proud of me because I have not drank that much within the span of a week in my entire life.
That's what I like to hear.
It was like, looking back, it was obscene, but also like I did everything right. And I don't know how the formula worked, but I was hydrated enough that I did not get hungover anytime.
Perfect.
Alicia, though, she drank her face off one night specifically, and woke up the next morning just like, I want to die, throw me off the balcony.
And that's, you know what, you need to do that sort of thing when you're on a holiday like that, I think. Yeah. Like, you almost like, and it has to be in the first like 2 to 3 days.
Oh yeah.
You know, get it out of your system. I mean, like, for people like you. For me, it's like I'm usually wound down by the 5th day because I've had too much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, for the first time in my life, I went on an actual grown-up vacation. I spent a week in Cabo San Lucas, which is, if you look at the map of Mexico, it is that one jut of land that's off to the left-hand side. I was at a resort that was at the very tippy bottom of that tiny piece of land.
That peninsula, the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah. So I was at the very, very end there. Like the beach was there, boom, there's the ocean, and that's it.
Yeah.
Right. So spent a week in Cabo San Lucas at a all-inclusive resort. Nice. Specifically the Pacifica of this resort. And it's adults only, no kids in the hotel that we were staying on this massive piece of property that had multiple hotels and multiple resorts and whatever. Just the entire premise of all inclusive was hard for my brain to conceive for like 36 hours.
Oh, it's so hard to like, when the first time I went, and I'm not going to cut you off here, but it's like,
no, it's fine.
The first time I went, it's like, I can just walk up and they'll just give me a drink, and I can do that as much as I want.
Yep.
Yeah, it was rough that the first time I went, and it was rough every other time I've went. So that's those trips. Yep.
So some of the highlights, like, because I don't want to bog down the entire show with my Mexico, but some of the highlights include the first time we got there, which I went with Alicia's family. Right, it was myself, my girlfriend Alicia, her sister Brooke, her sister's significant other Drayden, and then Alicia's mom and stepdad.
Yeah.
Now Alicia's mom and stepdad vacation cruise, like, to do it like once a year, maybe twice a year. So this is kind of old hat for them. And the rest of us, the quote unquote kids, I'm fucking 44. We're all new to this. So we had a shuttle from the hotel, or from the airport to the hotel.
Yeah.
As soon as we get to the hotel, the staff meets us at the shuttle.
Yeah.
And a gentleman introduces himself. His name is Israel. And he's like, "Hello, I am Israel. This is the Pacifica. Welcome. I am your butler. Would you like me to take your bags?" And Alicia's parents are like, "Here you go."
Yeah.
And the rest of us are like, "No, these are our bags." Like, we just don't know what the fuck to do. We check in.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm sorry. I'm doing more things than this at once.
Gotcha.
Yes.
We check in, and then we're like, okay, we're going on a tour of the grounds, and Israel is talking about, like, over there is a bar, and over there is a bar, and over there is a restaurant, and that's a bar, and that's a restaurant. And
I'm starting to like Israel already. You know?
He's just the most, like, the cool, laid back.
Yeah.
We get to the VIP lounge, which we have access to because apparently we're VIPs, again, not sinking into this brain right now. Sits us down, gives us menus. It says, there's the bar. You can make yourself a drink, or we can make a drink for you. What would you like? Again, my brain.
Did you say you could make your own drink?
Yes.
That sounds that sounds horrifying.
Like, you can make your own drink, or they can make a drink for you.
Jesus Christ, dude, that would be fucking terrible for me.
Oh yeah, it's just again, like, it's not sinking into my brain, right? Because, like, at one point in time, we're sitting in this lounge, we're having something to eat, and then Israel says, "Oh, behind you is the balcony. It's a VIP balcony, and if you are lucky, you can actually see whales coming out of the water and cresting out of the water. In fact, there's one right now, and then we turn around, and sure as shit, we see a splash, right? But not even 30 seconds later, a humpback comes out of the water.
Nice.
Right? We're like, oh, wow, cool. In my mind goes like, oh, yeah, so that's the VIP patio. That's supposed to be nice. And then Alicia gets up, and she pulls the door open, and I went, oh, fuck, we're VIP, right? So we hit the patio.
Tell me you haven't vacationed without telling me you haven't vacationed before. Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, so there was that whole scenario.
Yeah.
Then halfway through the second day, that's when I was just like, okay, so unless it specifically says on the menu that this is an extra charge, it's on the house. It's already been paid for. So
nice.
That's when I was like, all right, let's try this swim up bar. Daiquiri, 2 beers, shots of tequila, shots of vodka. Like it was happening. And I dusted off an old skill that a buddy of mine taught me years ago, Dan. He's the champion at slamming a beer. And he taught me years ago, like, this is how you do it. So I didn't order a beer the entire time. Beers were handed to me. And Brooke and Drayden, again, that's Alicia's sister and sister's significant other.
Yeah.
We're like, here's a beer. Okay, what is this? Mordello or whatever. Oh, yeah, cool. And I hit it, right?
Nice.
Empty the glass. And Brooke and Drayden and Alicia are like, the fuck, man? I go, I'm in a pool. I'm not going to hold a glass.
Well, yeah, and it's like, what if you drop it?
Exactly.
You gotta,
right?
like,
now it's diluted beer.
Well, exactly. Like, you break the glass, then somebody cuts their foot, and it's the whole thing. It's just you're better to just chug the beer.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
So like that's when it really started to sink in, and then again, some more of the highlights. Like, we got to tour the grounds, we got a tour of the actual like resort itself, and some of the timeshares that if we had $2,200 to spend a month, like, just insane amount of money, but like the properties were just amazing.
Oh, I'm sure, but like a timeshare is like the second dumbest thing you could do.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. First would be dropping a glass in the pool. So
that's fair.
We went for a camel ride adventure, where we hopped on. There was 6 of us, and we hopped on these actual legitimate camels, one-hump camels.
It's fucking weird that there's camels in Mexico, because they're not indigenous to Mexico.
They're not. No,
like some rich Mexican dude it's like, hey, I want camels over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we rode camels for like 15 minutes, and we got to pet a young 4-year-old 2-hump camel. And like, these camels are just spoiled rotten. Like, they're pets, right? Like, they're just having a good time.
This little fucker right
here. So the camel tour came complete with like an explanation of the history and the biology of camels and the difference between 1-hump and 2-hump. And then it also came with dinner. And then it came with tequila tasting. Tequila tasting. And our tour guide, Chicas, was hilarious and fluent in both English and Spanish, and went into the history and of tequila and what makes tequila.
Yeah.
And also got into explaining what mezcal is, as opposed to what tequila is, and also explained what the worm meant inside of a mezcal bottle. And
I used to know the difference, but I can't remember what it is anymore.
I can't remember either. It's just a form of distilling. It's just something like that. But it was about into my 5th shot of tequila that I realized that's why they fed us dinner beforehand.
Yeah. So the booze had something to soak up, right? Yeah.
Exactly. It was a 45-minute shuttle ride from the resort to the tour for the camels.
Yeah.
45 minutes there, On the way back, got into the shuttle, went, oh, okay, 45 minutes. Just fucking fell asleep.
Yeah.
No one knew I was out until Alicia like shook my leg and she's like, "Oh, you were asleep." I went, "I guess so."
Yeah. At least you weren't like, hard snoring, like
No.
the full on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tequila is a type of mezcal. Well, mezcal can be produced from up to 50 species of the agave plant. Tequila can be made from just one. So,
Okay.
yes. So blue agave is what you get tequila from.
Gotcha.
I've drank
Yes,
both.
yes.
Yes, I have drank both.
So we did that. We did another night. We did a sunset tour, which was kind of cool because we got to see the Mexican Arch, which is this literal arch that's just formed out of rock at the very tip of at the very end of the landmass of Mexico towards the ocean.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you Google search Mexico Arch, it is most likely you will see what I saw in person. But
Nice.
it was a party boat cruise. So we get out there and we see the arch, and then the boat spins around, and everyone else gets to see, like on the other side of the boat, gets to see the arch, and then the music goes up real loud. They feed you some dinner, and then they break out the conga line and the limbo bar and start shoving tequila down your throat.
I love Mexico.
Oh yeah,
I love that place. Just
it's also
just so much liquor. There's so much. Just hey, what do you do? Hey, want to have a drink? Yeah, okay. Well, let's have 6.
waiting for the opportunity to actually go on this sunset cruise. We walked through a legitimate Mexican market.
Yeah.
And that's where we were hit with everything. That's where it's like, you want to buy a shirt? Do you want to buy a cigar? Do you want to buy a dress? Do you want some weed? I went, I'm fucking Canadian.
I can buy my weed legal at home. I don't need.
Exactly.
I don't need your dirt weed.
Yeah.
Like
your
ditch dirt, like your ditch.
Which was kind of funny in a different manner because like we're comparing stories afterward because Brooke and Drayden went off on their own. I kept getting offered weed. Drayden was offered everything else.
And I'm assuming everything else.
Everything else. Exactly, right? So I looked at Alicia and go, do I look stressed out or something like that? Like, do I look like I need to smoke a joint?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That was just fucking funny because
That's awesome.
Yeah. We did the party boat tour.
Yeah.
And that was a hoot. And I'm pretty sure on that boat alone, I know I had 2 pina coladas and 4 shots of tequila. And the taxi ride on the way back to the hotel again. And sleep it off,
See, that's funny because like when I went to Mexico, that was my breakfast. But I'm a little more seasoned than you when it comes to the liquor.
Yeah.
So
it was on that boat ride I realized that pina coladas are it's my new favorite drink.
they will be until you start trying to find good ones at home, and they don't taste the same. And it's not because they taste bad. It's because you're not in the same place.
Yeah. That's probably it.
Yeah.
Right. One more highlight was, so we were all doing good, right? Well, Alicia got stupid hungover Saturday night. Stupid hungover from Saturday night, hungover Monday or Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And other than that, we were all doing good. Except for Drayden and Brooke. Drayden got the worst of it. They decided to walk the beach to try to go to like this outlook pier that we could see off in the distance.
It's way farther than it looks, too.
Oh, yeah. And that sun up there is unrelenting.
Yeah.
He got cooked, like burned bad, right?
Yeah.
That was on Sunday.
Yeah.
So he got burnt on Sunday. So fast forward to Wednesday, the last full day before we all jumped the plane, come back to Canada. We heard about this sky pool. And the Sky Pool apparently is this beautiful swimming pool, infinity pool that just kind of drops off, and it's at the highest point of the resort. And so I asked the staff there, like, what's the Sky Pool? And they go, oh, you want to go to the Sky Pool? It's closed now, because I'm asking Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I said, well, yeah, we're going to go tomorrow. He goes, oh, okay, go early. What do you mean? It's like, go early. Like, how early is early? He goes, like, what, 10:30? Okay. He goes, how many of you? I said, I don't know. It's going to be tomorrow, like maybe 4 of us. He goes, okay, yeah, go early. So Wednesday morning, wake up, have breakfast, hit the gym as we do. And then
not what I do on vacation, but
as we do.
yeah.
We get up to the shuttle. And so I go, can I get a shuttle to the Sky Pool? He goes, oh, yes, Mr. Simpson. I'm Mr. Simpson for this entire trip because Alicia's last name is Simpson, and it's all in her family's name. So I'm like, that's cool. I'm good with that. Yeah. Well, you go up to here, you take shuttle up to here, and then you take another shuttle up to Sky Pool, and that's where you will be. So, okay, fine. So we do that. One shuttle, another shuttle, all the way up to the top of the property, Sky Pool. It's like 10:15.
Yeah.
And we see this beautiful swimming pool. And there's like sun chairs and patio chairs that are like kind of outlying the edge of the pool. And it's against the barrier of this area, whatever. And like, oh, that's kind of nice. Cool. And I look up and I go, oh, what's that up there? So go up a flight of stairs. It's a cascading sky pool. There's a top pool that falls down into another pool. But oh, this is where we are. Oh, wait a minute. That's my name. That's Alicia's name. That's Brooke's name. This is literally where we are.
Nice.
They booked ahead of us.
Oh, tight.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Insane.
Yeah.
So Alicia and I are up there, and I get into the pool, and immediately, so I've been spoiled the entire time. We've been hitting every swimming pool on the property every night, except for the Sky Pool. Again, it's like now 20 after 10 on a Wednesday. I get in and go, it's not heated. I look at Alicia and she goes, you okay? I went, it's not heated. She goes, I'm good.
I bet that was a nice change though.
Yeah.
You know, like, because everything is so hot there.
Yeah.
I find, especially the time of year you went. I mean, I guess it is getting to the hot season there. So
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would have been a nice reprieve, I guess, from
what?
Those two dicks. They're just being dogs. So
yeah. So we were eventually joined by Brooke and Drayden. I don't know what everyone else had, but 4 daiquiris, 3 shots. I'm sorry, not daiquiris, 4 pina coladas, 3 shots. A hot dog that had no business being as good as it was, but that was probably the sun and the alcohol.
That was the liquor talking. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then 3 hours just flew right by. And we get back to the hotel room, and I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm burnt front to back. Alicia is burnt front and down one leg. Like, yeah. And I still have, like, I posted a photo on social media. You can kind of sort of see it. You see that little, that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an umbrella stand. Which you can see which way I was leaning or whatever. Anyway.
Pissed drunk leaning up against the umbrella stand.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. Nice.
But I was never like out of control drunk. I was never like, you need to help me stand up drunk.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I've never drank that much within the span of a week, ever. Like, it was a little ridiculous.
If you ever come out here, you'll be in for a rude awakening. Sure.
Okay. We'll go up to the Sky Pool of Saskatchewan.
Yeah, it's just over the hill over there.
Yeah. But absolute blast. Like, I figured out how much it cost. It was basically most likely including flights about $2,300 per person.
Oh, that's cheap.
For a week in the Pacifica hotel specifically, like nothing against people who have kids, but you know, a hotel that had no kids in it or specifically the one hotel of the resort that had no kids in it,
Yeah.
for a week being spoiled rotten, fucking highly recommend.
Oh yeah.
Like
And
the
$2,300 is cheap too.
yeah.
You know,
Like
it's-
holy
it's-
Christ.
That's a very reasonable price for that.
Yeah.
With your flights too. Yeah, fuck, that's super cheap.
It was so worth it.
Yeah. Awesome.
So that was my trip. I stand by the recommendation that vacations should be mandatory.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
My trip wasn't as fun as yours sounds like. Mine was fun, but mine was not, like, where it was like 30 degrees out, where, mine was like through rain and the Pacific Northwest, which I do love it there, but it just fucking, it rained the whole goddamn time.
Yeah.
So my trip went like this. I worked a night shift the night before I left. So thank you for that. Thank you. Can you stop? Thank you. For the people listening, I just got licked in the face by a dog. So
It wasn't me.
and it was no. So got my my middle nephew, my godson Hudson, to pick me up from my house at like 4:30 in the morning, because that's the time I got home from work that day. And we left. So we drove to Saskatoon. We picked up my oldest nephew, Hunter, and we started driving. So we left my hometown at 4:30. We didn't stop driving until 2:30 in the morning.
Holy Christ, dude. That's a slog.
It was just about 2,000 kilometers in one shot. So the story, so like my niece goes to school. I think we've talked about this before. She goes to a university out there.
Yep.
I think it's university, it's college, whatever. It's one or the other. It doesn't matter. She's going to be an optometrist. Right. So when you get your let me start again. When you actually become a doctor, it's not a big of a deal. Like, there's no big ceremony or anything. This is the closest that she's going to get to a big ceremony. So that's why we all went out. So like, I drove out with my two nephews. My mom and dad drove out themselves. My sister and brother-in-law drove out. My other sister flew out. My niece's grandmother on the other side flew out. There was 12 people from my hometown in the States, which was fucking weird to me, man. Because every time I go out there, like, I'm out there to drink beer and get fucked up.
Now family's here.
We did do a little bit of that, but not as much. So anyways, so we left Saskatoon. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. We drove through fucking rain, like, forever. Since I had just got off a night shift, I drove for like the first 2 or 3 hours. And then I looked at my oldest nephew. He's like, strap in, buddy. You're driving for a bit. So I crawled in the back seat. We took my truck, and I curled up in the back seat as best as I could and slept for as long as I could, which wasn't very long, about 2 hours. Then we crossed the border in BC. Can't remember exactly where. It was Kingsgate. So like middle of nowhere. Yeah. We got into the States, and like the first thing that my oldest nephew does is go buy like a Four Loko. Like the first gas station we stop at, like, we're just over the border. He's like, I gotta have this. I'm like, why do you need to have this? Like, you're spending his own money. I don't give a shit what you're spending your money, but like, what do you need that for right now? It's like, oh, it had an American flag on it. It's like, dude, we're in the States. Everything has a fucking American flag on it.
Yeah, give it 5 minutes.
It's like, you're gonna find a condom with fucking American flags on it pretty soon. Like,
yeah.
So, whatever. We tour through, and like, I drive from wherever in Canada into, like, we switched at I think it was Spokane. No, the Tri-Cities. So anyways, like, when you leave Spokane, Washington, and head west, it's kind of similar to Saskatchewan. It's flat, it's prairie, like there's like but it's not like here, like it's weird. But they have this massive like 4-lane highway with huge shoulders on it, and the speed limit's 80 miles an hour. So in Saskatchewan terms, that's like what, 120-ish?
Yeah.
130-ish, somewhere through there. Yeah, so what we did, I set the cruise at 90 miles an hour because that's what everybody else was driving.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to get passed like you're standing still.
Pretty much. So, it took us 20 hours, but we lost some time going through the mountains because it was actually snowing and raining bad. But then we got into the prairies. We made a bunch of time up.
Yeah.
We switched again, like drivers at the Tri-Cities. My nephew drove for the next couple hours, and we ran through rain. Oh my God. But again, it's Pacific Northwest. You know, that's the way it is. It just fucking rains and rains and rains. We finally we had actually picked up some beer in the Tri-Cities because we didn't think there was going to be anything open in Forest Grove where we were staying. And it's a good thing we did because there was nothing open. We get to the hotel room, check in, and me and my nephew, we chug. Well, me and two of my nephews. One was underage, yes, but he was with an adult, and his mom and dad were there. So, we're not breaking any laws. I think we each had, 3 beer when we got to the hotel room, as fast as they would go down. Because after that day on the road, it's holy fuck. It was just, it was too much.
Yeah.
So, hop into bed, sleep a couple hours. My sister calls. It's we're planning on going out to Astoria. So I was there last year, and we talked about this. We went and saw the Goonies house again and whatever.
Yep.
So we hop in the truck, and me and my Hunter and Hudson. Oh, excuse me. And we're gonna meet everybody there. So my truck has Android Auto, which is fucking amazing, by the way, and it was a lifesaver. So on our way to Astoria, I decided to change my destination to get to exactly where we were going. What it did, it actually ended up changing it to the war. It made it so much worse. The highway that we went on, and it's actually a time lapse that I took, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Sure. It was the worst road I've ever driven on. That still had a speed limit. It still had a speed limit that was 55 miles an hour. So that's 95-ish. It was so up and down, left and right. It was a logging road, for fuck's sakes, that was paved. It was a nice highway, but it was man, there was no cell service and shit. It was bad.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah. So
sounds like a cheap and effective way to keep you awake.
Yeah. So if you're ever going through Oregon and your GPS is trying to send you on Highway 202, don't do it. Don't do it. don't
Not unless you specifically want to be there.
Yeah. So, anyways, we go see the tourist stuff. We go see there's a museum, and there's a big house that that was all in the movies, and I had seen this stuff before, so whatever, it was fine. Then we ended up going to see like I said, the Goonies house again, and then we had some lunch, and then something I didn't get to see last time was Cannon Beach, and we fucking drove right by it. So Cannon Beach is where, at the beginning of the Goonies, where they're doing the 4x4 race on the beach.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right where they filmed it. So it was literally right there. I turned here, and it was just 2 minutes down the road.
Oh shit.
Last time I was there, but it was cool to see. So we stop here, or we stop there, and we hop out of the truck, and my sister's 5 kids were all there, and they're all running towards the ocean. It was like in a movie. It was if I would have been, a cooler person, I would have maybe taken some video. I've been fuck it, whatever. But so he go and
sometimes you just got to be in the moment.
Yeah, and that's what it was. On this beach too is if you look one way, like you can see at the end of the Goonies where the pirate ship comes out at the end of the movie. Like, there's some big rocks, and like if you've seen the Goonies and you saw this, it's like, holy fuck, that's exactly it. So we got to see
I
that.
can picture it in my head. Yeah.
So yeah, we hung out there for a bit, hopped in the truck, and then we headed back, and I took a time lapse video of that. And that's the one that I put on the page the other day. And it was cool, you know, like it's the time lapse. Actually, I took a time lapse pretty much of the whole trip, but the one file got corrupted, and I don't know why, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you were saying that, and that's rather odd. Well, you were using one of your old phones, right?
Yeah, but it's not like it's not like it's a slouch of a phone. I guess it's 4 years old, but anyways, it doesn't matter. That was just through the prairies, anyways. There, so. So yeah, so me and we get back to the hotel. Like I think we watched some hockey because like the Leafs are still in the playoffs then, and I'm not going to talk about it any more than that because I don't want to. Yeah. Next morning was the my niece's ceremony, so we drove 20 hours for a 1 hour ceremony. Which it was 100% worth it. Like I don't regret. Yeah. Like, no, and it, like, we had to go. Like, there was no question in my mind that we had to go. So,
absolutely.
Ceremony was in the morning. We went and had lunch. I said to my oldest nephew and my niece, it's like, well, you know, we should probably go for some drinks. Because, the younger kids and, like, my sister, they were going to take the younger kids. They were going to go to Walmart. Apparently going
why?
Because going to Walmart in the States is way different than here. So
okay,
but whatever. So me and Hunter and Marley and actually my godson Hudson, who is underage, we went to a brewery. Had a couple drinks there. And actually like the same places I went to last time I was there. Had a couple drinks, and then we went to a brewery that Hudson couldn't come in. He said no minors. Whatever, you know, and the rest of the trip was just family stuff, you know. Then, you know, like, so we left on the Sunday. We were gonna drive up to Vancouver to see some friends, you know, let's see Tyler, and we left Forest Grove at 10 o'clock in the morning. We were in Vancouver by like 4. But man, I've driven through Vancouver. I've driven, you know, like through Calgary, through Edmonton over the years, and like, you know, not big cities, but you know, fairly big.
Yeah.
That ain't got shit on fucking like Seattle and Tacoma. Holy fuck.
Really?
Like, well, it's about 100 kilometers of city.
It's ridiculously large.
Yeah, and it was like 4 lanes each way. Like, and it was like, I figured, you know, Sunday, you know, it should be fine on a Sunday. No, it was so bad. It was backed up so bad. Like, just, yeah. You know, then we went and hung. Yeah, it was, I could never live there. It's too big. It's just, too big. You know. So yeah, we get into Vancouver, you know, had some beers, had some laughs, you know, got to see Tyler. You know, went out to Port Moody and hung out and saw some stuff, and you know, and then Wednesday morning hit, and well, Tuesday night, me and Hunter were talking. It's like we're both tired, you know, like we're familyed out. We visited enough. We're like, let's go home.
Yeah,
and Hunter's like, yeah, let's just go.
Yeah.
So we were staying at Tyler's place actually, and Tyler just so happens to get up for work at, you know, 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning BC time. So
right.
6 o'clock Saskatchewan time.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, Tyler, when you get up, we're just going to get up and we're just going to go. So that's exactly what we did. We were in the truck. We were by Chilliwack by like 6 o'clock, like an hour. Like it was a little busy getting out. But then once we got out, like, because where Tyler actually lives to get out of, like, he lives in New West. So, like, to get out of there, it's about an hour.
But you'd be going against the flow of traffic. It would have been rush hour the other direction. So
there was still traffic. You know, like because once you get far enough out, you're going to start meeting up with the people that are going to the next center, right? Like into
that's
Chilliwack
true.
or whatever. So
Abbotsford or Langley or something like that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So like dumb shits, we do that drive in one day. It took us 18 hours.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Like I get the sense and the urgency to get home, but
there was no urgency, but it's like we didn't want to spend money on a hotel room that we're gonna be in there for like 4 hours because I would have been, you know, like I would have been up. Like it's like this isn't home. Like I could be home now, you know, like we drove through, man. Like we hit Calgary at 5 o'clock. So it took us just about 10 hours to get to Calgary. No, it was 11 hours to get to Calgary. And we hit Calgary right at rush hour. Hunter was driving. And we take whatever fucking ring road they call it. You know, like they're whatever. It's like Circle Drive in Saskatoon or Ring Road in Regina. It's the like the outside road, like or the Anthony Henday in Edmonton. Gotcha. So we hop on that and we're like, okay, fuck, it's a Wednesday and it's rush hour. It's like, what the fuck is this gonna look like? We get on it, and after driving through Seattle, we're just laughing. It's like, you know, it was busy, but it's like, it's not that fucking busy.
This is manageable.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
you're hanging out the windows like you have it.
Yeah, fuck, pretty much. Yeah, so we kept going. We got to Saskatoon. I think it was just about midnight. I got home. It was about 1:30 after I dropped Hunter off, and it was a long day, but it was just good to be back. Yeah,
like I've done some long drives, like long hauls in my years, but that's excessive for me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I have to stop for a minute. I have to pee.
No,
it's been one of I had a long day at work, so
yeah.
How about
I'll
you?
tell you what, I'll.
You were
if you just want to go.
Yeah.
The Lost Signals podcast is brought to you by Homebound Brewery, a family-owned and operated brewery focused on bringing people together and creating quality small batch craft beer that's all your own. Serving a variety of beers on tap and in cans, along with guest seltzers, cider, and even some non-alcoholic options for kids. Cans available at over 40 retail liquor stores throughout the province of Saskatchewan. From our family's hands to yours, it's Homebound Brewing. Check them out online at homeboundbrewing.ca.
Yeah, so that was my trip. We did stuff.
I mean, you know, you're close to your family, and especially, one about to achieve something incredible after a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. I mean, it's cool to have family show up and be there.
Well, I mean,
especially cool when it's not a big affair, but you make it a big one, right?
Yeah. Well, like the thing is, like we all know doctors, you know, like we all know optometrists, like, you know, like they're professionals, you know, people that you trust with body parts, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know a doctor personally.
Well, no, you're getting
I don't.
closer and closer.
I closer and closer. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm super proud of her. You know, like that's a lot. That's a lot of goddamn work. Like, but she's smart. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways, enough trip talk. We talked about trips for 45 minutes just about.
Well, I mean, they were
mind
big,
you, my minute, you know, pee break there, but
they were big momentous trips. They were important, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What else did you want to talk about?
Well, so the broadcasting world, you know, lost somebody this past week. Darren Dutition from TSN passed away. I think he had prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Which is shitty, like, because I remember growing up watching ITV back in the day, and that was it was a station out of Edmonton, I believe, and Of course, because at the time, Saskatoon didn't have its own goddamn, TV station, so we got TV from everywhere, like Detroit,
Right.
whatever.
Of course, because that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. But so I remember watching Darren Detition on the sports, fucking whatever it was back in the day, and I remember him from there, and he was a Saskatchewan boy. So you watch a guy like that, and you kind of take him as your own, right? So like when you watch Sports Center, where he ended up on TSN, it was always nice seeing seeing somebody from a town that I've been to, making it good. It was like it was hard to see. Not hard, it was really sad to see somebody like that leave, at a young age too. He was only 57, so
yeah. No, it's another stark reminder that we're all on borrowed time.
Oh yeah, some of us more borrowed than the rest.
But Darren Detition, I mean, that's I'm confident it's strictly or mostly a Canadian name, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But it kind of got me thinking, and I kind of just bounced this off you earlier. I don't think there's a generation out there that has, news anchors of their childhood anymore. I mean, it's so much of the news. I mean, and I use the term mainstream media, but what I actually mean is those sensationalist news channels and shows that have way too much exposure.
Oh yeah.
And do not honestly hold the title of news anchor or news broadcaster or news provider as much as they do of opinion spouter.
Yeah.
Right. And it's unfortunate because I can remember my boss just came back from a summit, and at this summit was all these old anchors that have since retired from a news station that I grew up watching, BCTV. And she started rattling off all these names, and I recognized all of them. And one that primarily stands out in my mind was Tony Parsons. And Tony Parsons, I just remember being this strong figure that would be at the news desk and read at a very low baritone voice, but very factual, but at the same time warm. And he looked. You think of head desk news anchor. You would picture a caricature of Tony Parsons. He that's who he was.
I got to see a picture of this guy.
Tony Parsons. And
oh yeah.
He I dare to ask, and feel free if you're listening to this or watching this later, do you have a memory of a news team or a news anchor from your childhood? Essentially we do, right? Because Darren Detition, that's a name that instantly sparks getting a news update on Sports Center or an affiliate or whatever, right? I remember that. I remember that face and his energy and the way he brought me the updates, right? So it's just kind of wild.
Lloyd Robertson,
absolutely, yeah.
Knowlton Nash too. Fucking Knowlton Nash was on CBC back in the day, and Peter Mansbridge. Lloyd Robertson, Knowlton Nash, and the last one I said, Robertson.
Mansbridge,
Peter Mansbridge. Yeah, those three. Yeah. In the 80s and 90s, if you watched the news, if one of those three was talking, I know Lloyd Robertson was on CTV and the other two were on CBC. Mm-hmm. Back before the CBC was kind of shit, but but like you knew that like what those guys were saying was most likely true, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, it just kind of like puts things into perspective how much things have changed, right?
Oh fucking
like I have to be reminded every once in a while that like I am a local celebrity, and online I am just like you. Like we're personalities, we're content creators. I had to record a commercial today to promote an on-location remote that I'm hosting next week. And the script was, "Hi, it's JD from 101.3 The River. Join me." And it's like, it kind of, I stopped and took a second and took a step back and went like, I'm asking people to meet me because I'm going to be somewhere. Like, so weird.
It's kind of fucked up, isn't it?
It is a bit, right? And people are going to be there, and people are going to be like, "Oh, it's you," right? So
well, I wanted
that's to just kind of
so bad, you know. Like,
yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't.
I saw that podcast. Can you lick my face?
Oh. Wow. Shit just got weird. Weirder. Yeah. No, and actually, like, I had that sort of same experience. Well, not that in that sense, but like I was at Homebound one day, and there's a bunch of people that go into Homebound that listen to the podcast. They're like, "Hey, wait a minute. I recognize your voice." And I think I was talking to Tom or was talking to Lee or whatever, you know, having a beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, "I recognize your voice." It's like, what the fuck did I do? Like, what, do you have a recording of me someplace? And then I had to think about it. It's like, oh, right. Yeah. There's a bunch of people that listen to the podcast, you know, because of, you know, like Tom's sponsorship. So it's like,
yeah,
okay, fucking, this is, it's fucking weird, man. Like I didn't take it.
It's so fucking weird, isn't it? Like,
yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so let's, there's some movie trailers that dropped this week that or like in the last little, we're playing catch up here, you know, like we're a little out. So
first of all, Deadpool and Wolverine, the third Deadpool movie, and apparently it just broke records of the most pre-sale tickets sold for an R-rated movie.
I can only get so erect.
Exactly.
So okay, so in this new trailer, which is like just saying that the tickets were on sale or whatever, there was actually a hidden QR code.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, I saw a video on Instagram or whatever, and if you scan this QR code, there's a hidden Ryan Reynolds video where he's just like, he's like, we'll have to put the link up, and you're gonna have to watch it. But I figured you would have seen it already. But it's he's like, all he's saying is like, we're gonna piss off Disney. It's like he's doing a voiceover for the trailer, and it's like, holy fuck! It's like, yeah, it's funny. See if you can pull it up.
I'm gonna look for the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer right now.
Yeah, but
the one that was released 3 days ago.
Yeah. In the one scene where they're walking side by side, just in the background, like for 1 second, you can see this QR code.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll put the.
I'll try to find it.
Yeah, and because I mean we can't really link it here because it's unlisted. We could, but I mean
they're walking out.
Yeah, it's on the wall behind where they're walking out.
It's on the wall behind where they're walking.
Yeah,
out.
And it doesn't look like a real QR code too. Anyways, it's the video of Ryan Reynolds doing the voiceover is fucking hilarious. So
okay. I'm watching for this QR code. Another movie trailer is Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. And I think this is a long time coming because at one point in time they were trying to actually get a Beverly Hills Cop TV series or like a Netflix series.
Yeah.
And they realized as soon as they started filming the pilot for this that, no, you know what? We could just do a movie. And so they scrapped the series and went ahead with the movie.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
honestly, like, makes sense.
Oh, why not? I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a long time since I watched a Beverly Hills Cop movie. I should probably watch. Was there 3 originally?
Yes. Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be interesting.
I do not see a QR code anywhere.
Let's see if I can.
Like, if I hold my phone up to the screen, will it be like, hey, there's a QR code here?
No.
I'm going to try.
No.
Welcome back to New Rockstars.
Sorry, no, I'm gonna fucking. I'll see if I can find it.
I know we're dragging this whole.
I know. And anyway,
showdown.
fuck it. We'll talk about it off air.
Sure.
Yeah, because that was bad. Dead space there. Anyways, we'll try and put the link up.
The final trailer that came out is Beetlejuice, and
Yes.
rightfully titled, it is the sequel to the original. And
I think we did talk about this.
well, it has and like more trailers have come out, and it has a lot more of the original cast, and I like it just. I can't wait for it. It looks as though that, of course, Michael Keaton is just had an absolute blast. Which
Sorry, that was really loud in my ears. That's gonna be really loud on the episode. Fuck.
what'd you do?
I
I
opened a. Yeah, you probably just heard it. Yeah, I clicked on the Beetlejuice trailer. I wanted to mute it before it played, but it was just like bah! Like right away. So, we'll try and put an audio wording on that before it comes in.
Sure. Anyway, so yeah, those trailers, like, it's looking like this summer is gonna be like I'm gonna spend a lot more time than usual in the movie theater.
Yeah, and so there was another announcement too that they're making a Silent Hill 2 movie.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna look this up.
But they already made a Silent Hill 2, didn't they? They did.
Yeah, Revelation, but like a proper one. Sorry, it's called Return to Silent Hill.
Right. Okay.
So
Silent Hill movies.
So the film was Return to Silent Hill was officially greenlit in October 22. Started filming last year in April. And this is actually based on the game of Silent Hill 2. So the premise is James is devastated after being separated from his soulmate and receives a mysterious letter that leads him back to a town called Silent Hill, where he hopes to find her. However, he discovers that the town has been changed by some unknown malevolent force, and he delves deeper into the town. He finds terrifying figures, both familiar and unfamiliar, doubting his mental stability as he tries to comprehend reality and hopes to stay strong enough to rescue his beloved. So, with that, Pyramid Head is in this movie. Yeah. So, if you've never played the Silent Hill games, Pyramid Head is this dude that literally has a pyramid for a head. And it's not really a pyramid. It's this big fucking like beak.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, absolutely.
But he carries this big fucking sword / hammer thing around and beats the fuck out of you with it in the game. Like it's fucking terrifying. So
Okay, it must have been the first Silent Hill movie that I actually watched when I did that whole year of like I'm gonna watch one horror movie a month.
Yeah.
It must have been the first Silent Hill movie because I'm looking at it. Certainly wasn't Silent Hill Revelation 3D because that just the title sounds like it looks like crap.
No, it's saying here just on their Wikipedia page. So you got to take that as gospel. The film serves as the third installment in the Silent Hill film series, as well as a reboot.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
Gotcha. The original Silent Hill movie was actually fucking terrifying. Not terrifying, like it was horrifying. Like because that's how fucked up that movie was back in the day.
So yeah, the original. It must have been, like I said, it must have been the first one because Silent Hill was one of the movies that I watched during that entire year, right?
Yeah.
And there was the Pyramid Head, who, spoiler alert, just flat out rips the skin off of someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there was the child that was in the bed and had control of the barbed wire towards the big grand finale of the movie.
Oh yeah, I it's been years since I watched that, so
gotcha.
According to this, Return to Silent Hill is actually directed by the director of the original movie, so it could be interesting.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, you might have to chalk me up for buying a ticket to that one.
Oh yeah, I think I'll go see that one in the theater.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't gonna do well in the theater. I can't see, like horror. I mean, like let's be honest, horror movies like don't normally do well in theaters.
Are you sure? Don't they though?
Depends,
like
right?
The being scared in a dark room together is like I thought that was like kind of the whole attraction to it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about watching a horror movie at home, like, like, because sometimes the things scare you the most, right? Like even your own space.
Yeah.
So I don't like it's off topic, but not really. But it's a horror movie related. But I remember after watching the first Paranormal Activity, I was with an ex, and we were in Edmonton, and we had went and saw the first Paranormal Activity at the theater in the mall there. We got back to the hotel room, and every little fucking thing, like the air conditioning came on or the furnace came on or whatever the fuck it was. And I'm fucking up and I'm fucking looking around like, what the fuck is that? I was freaked out, because like back, 15 years ago when that movie came out, it's like, holy fuck, this is visceral. Like it beat the fuck out of you because of how messed up it was at the time, I mean, it's like, I mean, there's been like 7 or 8 sequels since, but it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. I just did a quick search, a list of the highest grossing horror films in the theater. And number 10, The Nun. Number 9, Prometheus. Number 10, Hannibal. Number 9, The Nun. Number 8, Prometheus. Number 7, Signs. Number 6, The Exorcist. That's the 1973 film.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
Number 5, It Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Number 4, World War Z. Number 3, I Am Legend.
Less horror, more like thriller.
Yeah. Number 2, The Sixth Sense. And number 1 was the 2017 remake of, the theatrical release of It.
Yeah, I can agree that It Part 1 was definitely better than Part 2.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I'm an expert on that book or like that story. But I've read that book like 20 times.
Yeah.
I get a pretty good idea. And considering how much they changed, they didn't change a whole bunch of it. I mean, they had to, but like,
do you want to know what of the horror series, box office numbers, like series as a complete, right? What is the most successful horror series?
It's got to be Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, not on the list. And I only have the top 20.
Really?
Yes.
I find that hard to believe. Series? I mean,
Yes.
Nightmare on Elm Street it's gotten it. It should be up there, but it probably isn't. If Friday the 13th wasn't.
19th.
Huh. Not paranormal.
Try again.
Not paranormal activity. It shouldn't be up there.
10th.
Really?
Yes, 10th. Yes.
I don't like this list.
Yeah.
I don't like this list
This is
at
all. This is just series on numbers, right?
Oh, horror series. I mean, Halloween's probably it's got to be there someplace. Like
11th.
Huh. Fuck, I don't know. That's actually kind of pisses me off. That
The Conjuring.
really?
The Conjuring series as a whole, total of 9 films, has grossed $2.2 billion.
Really? That's
Yes.
disturbing.
Yes.
Because like, for how many like Friday the 13th movies? Like, there's been 12 of them.
Okay, so
Okay, yeah, but
From-
like that's got to be like that's probably not adjusted for inflation. You know what I mean? That's actual like box office totals. I would assume anyway.
possibly. Okay, so 1 to 20, in specific order of most made to least made, goes The Conjuring, Alien, Resident Evil, It, Saw, Hannibal, Dracula, Scream, Scary Movie, Paranormal Activity, Halloween, Predator, Insidious, The Exorcist, Final Destination, The Ring, A Quiet Place, I Am Legend, Nightmare on Elm Street, and The Purge.
Something on there pissed me off and I can't remember what it was. Oh, the Dracula series.
15 movies.
In-
Okay, so
in-
that's counting. Okay, so that's
Okay,
movies that have
okay.
Dracula in it.
Okay.
That's including Van Helsing.
And that's probably including like Blade 3 as well.
Probably.
Because Dracula's in Blade 3. So
okay, so this is what it includes: Van Helsing, Dracula Untold, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Dracula 2000, Love at First Bite, Dracula from 1979, The Last Voyage of the Demetra in 2023, Shadow the Vampire, Dead and Loving It, The Monster Squad, Dracula from 1958, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, Prince of Darkness, The Brides of Dracula, Nadja, and The Satanic Rites of Dracula from 1973. So it's pretty stacked. That's not including Blade.
Which is weird. I'm surprised they wouldn't put Blade on there because Dracula is definitely in Blade.
But Blade would be more action and not horror. Right.
Now you're just splitting hairs here.
I'm just fucking reading what I'm seeing here.
I don't know, man.
Hey, the fact that it is number 4 in its entire series, it's only listing 2 movies.
3.
2. It says 2.
Okay, but I mean there is the mini series that has been
Yeah,
popular
exactly.
for.
This is box office theatrical releases.
Okay, yeah, that mini series was never released as
There you go.
it should have been though. Even though the ending was terrible, most of that movie was iconic because it had Tim Curry as Pennywise.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like
What the one thing that pisses me off of this entire list is the fact that Scary Movie is on it at all.
yeah, it shouldn't be. Because that's
Scary Movie.
That's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's all there.
oh, fuck. You know, and I think they're making another one, unfortunately.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're good for a laugh, but like
Yeah.
I mean, if it has Anna Faris in it, I think I'll probably watch it. She was pretty easy on the eyes, so yeah. What are you listening to this week?
Just quick check here. James Carberry 80 says, I scared a whole theater audience by accident when Paranormal Activity 3 came out. I believe it.
Paranormal, which is that the one that was set in the past, like in the 80s? I think it was.
So Paranormal Activity 1 was like the
original, yeah.
The original. Paranormal Activity 2 was like a completely different family, disconnected? And then was Paranormal Activity 3 like the precursor to Paranormal Activity 1?
Yeah, it was like the prequel, I think.
Yeah,
But
okay.
part of it was a prequel, and then it ended up tying in, and then it got all fucking weird after that.
Yeah, yeah. I watched 1 and 3. I remember that. I remember the only reason we didn't watch number 2 is because apparently Alicia was like, "Yeah, I'm a fan of horror movies. This one sucks." So,
I think I have. Oh, why is that? Stop that. Just gonna see which ones I have that I've definitely bought. What? Oh no, I think my keyboard died.
oops.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't be. Yeah, I better.
James says I went to get popcorn. I guess something suspenseful about to happen. When I opened the theater door, everyone jumped and gasped. My dad laughed his butt off.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, yeah, in the middle of a horror movie, and all of a sudden this bright light shows up from behind you.
Yeah. 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 Let's wrap this up because if my keyboard's dying,
Sure.
I need to get this figured out.
Yep. All right. You got a story about a song, and I think we should lead with that.
Yeah. Well, it's not much of a story. It's just that like I was on my couch the other night and I put on this. Or no, maybe no. It was a Spotify playlist I was listening to, and this fucking song came on and it reminded me of being like 20 again.
Oh,
And it reminded me of living in my old apartment with like my best friend in the world, Amanda. We lived together for like a year and a half or 2 years or whatever that was. But like we remember watching this video and it reminds me of my first apartment on alone, but the song is fucking terrible.
okay.
Like not terrible, like it's like I don't know the right way to describe it, but it's like, okay, in the early 2000s there was nothing but fucking girl and boy groups, you know, and Eminem famously fucking dissed all of them, you know,
Right.
and you know, put them all to bed
Yeah.
and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was listening to this playlist or wherever the fuck it came up. I can't remember. It's like my memory's getting shot. But this song came on. It was like the song is called Days Like That. Or I have it fucking written down. Yeah, Days Like That by fucking, and I can't even read my own goddamn handwriting. Sugar Jones. That's what it is. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Sugar Jones, I'm pretty sure was a Canadian girl group.
Okay.
And the song, like, it was kind of like one of these earworms. Once you listen to it, it's going to be like, okay, I remember the song. And then I remember how bad it was when it came out.
Yeah. Maybe it's not that the song is bad. It's just the song is not correct.
Yeah, maybe. You know, there's just, it's just like, there was something about it. So, like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to add this just for a, I don't know, a joke. Like, I don't know.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
so, okay.
Everyone have a listen to this song and just, you know.
Okay, so the funny thing though is like, because after I heard the song, because like I was thinking about it at work the other day, like on Wednesday, I'm like, okay, I want to put this on my Spotify so I can at least listen to it once, just to, you know, bring back some memories or whatever. And so when you search it on Spotify, it's like, yeah, it comes up, but like, so you search Days Like That, and it's an album. Like it's an album of like remix, but it doesn't give you a fucking like the proper name for it. So like if
You're right.
Right. So if you look like, I'm just gonna bring it onto my screen here.
Sure.
So yeah, like it's just covering your face right now. So this is my Spotify, and so this is Sugar Jones. Apparently this album came out in 2007,
Right.
and it doesn't give you like, it doesn't say like Days Like That. It says the radio edit, the smooth mix, the garage mix, like like because like I'm gonna put this on a playlist and like what the fuck is this? You know, like say you'd be scrolling through and like and try and find something. It's like, no, fucking like name it fucking right.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's hilarious. That is just
it's
poor
it's I mean, it's funny, but it's terrible. So I'm gonna
not correct is what it is.
It is not correct. So
not correct.
I'm gonna add the song "Days Like That"
Sure.
under the title "The Radio Edit" onto the Found Signals playlist on Spotify, and there's gonna be a link in the description for that. And make sure to check out lostsignals.ca. And email us at info@lostsignals.ca to say how dumb we are for adding this song, because it's once you hear it, the problem is you're gonna listen to it once and be like, I kind of want to listen to it again.
The fuck, man.
I know it's fucking.
I'm looking forward to listening to it after the show. I should mention too, like, of course, what we're referring to is the Found Signals playlist, a Lost Signals playlist available.
It's so wordy.
It's so
wordy.
Well, it's Found Signals, a Lost Signals playlist.
Yes.
And it's available on Spotify. And you go to our website, lostsignals.ca, you will find it. I'll throw in some songs that are not correct as well. Might as well.
Okay.
We'll start off with a throwback of Toadies with Possum Kingdom.
That's a good track.
Yeah.
Really good track.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I can't even fucking type into my fucking Spotify right now because my keyboard's acting up. So I will have to just.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else you got?
Time of the Season by the Zombies.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I keep hearing that stupid fucking, that sound on Instagram Reels. It's like the "Who's Your Daddy?" You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So,
yeah.
What's your second one?
The Impression That I Get.
Oh, good.
The Mighty Boss Tones.
Sorry, I have to write these down right now. Because I can't
go old school, man.
My comma key is sticking because I spilt a tiny little beer on it. So a little bit of beer on it. So because that's what I want to do is fucking buy a new fucking $120 keyboard.
Just stick it in the dishwasher. It'll be fine.
You can. I've seen videos where you do it. No, maybe it's just sticking. Anyway, I'll figure that out after the show.
Sure.
Anyways.
Your finals.
What
you did too. I did too. You're right. My bad. Yep.
Are you still drunk?
No.
Are you
this
sure?
This is just water, man. This is just water.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm drinking.
It is late.
I'm drinking for two, I guess.
Attaboy.
Mm-hmm.
During that week, I drank for both of us. I did my heavy lifting there.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, that's about it, I think.
I think so.
We actually ran longer than I thought we were going to. We're 1:20.
That's a decent jam session, man.
Considering we had like 3 fucking notes again. It's like,
Next time we'll be joined by Lee once again.
I told him in the chat if he was home soon enough he could hop on, but we're done now. So
yeah.
Anyways, this has been episode 62. I'm Daryl.
I'm JD.
We'll see you guys out there or something.
Thanks again to Homebound.
Yeah, I gotta figure. I've said this before. I gotta fucking figure out a different fucking ending thing to say because it just sounds dumb. I don't fucking know anymore. I don't know. Anyways, I also gotta turn that fucking theme music down. Jesus Christ, that's loud.
It's fine. Let her play.
Holy fuck. See you guys out there.